Joe Biden and Elon Musk are two of the most influential people on the face of the earth at this point in time. Joe Biden being one of the most popular presidents of the United States with an approval rating of 47% after taking a record 81 million votes and outing Donald Trump who was confident for a second term in the White House. On the other hand, you've heard Elon Musk, a trailblazer, a prodigy, an entrepreneur, and CEO of the world's leading electric vehicle manufacturers and clean energy solution providers, Tesla Inc. Both of these influential men also have a few things in common, that being a love for electric vehicles, or EVs for short, and a vision for a cleaner environment powered by green and sustainable energy sources. And both of these men are working towards realizing these goals in their own capacities. The Biden approach. To curb the negative environmental impact of carbon emissions from traditional combustion engine vehicles, President Biden is pushing the U.S. natives to transition to electric vehicles. At the very least, he wants 50% of the vehicle sales in the United States to be electric vehicles instead of internal combustion engines. That's not all. As a campaign to encourage more people to buy electric vehicles, the Biden Assembly is looking to introduce a tax credit worth $12,500 for people looking to purchase an EV. Apart from that, Presidential Biden looks to increase the number of charging spots in the United States to accommodate EV users. The allocated budget for this project is a mammoth $7 billion. Without a doubt, the Biden administration is taking the most vigorous course of action to encourage EV purchase instead of mere lip service. The Musk approach. As mentioned earlier, Musk is one of these trailblazers in the EV game. Be it research and development or manufacturing, Elon has worked almost insanely to make Tesla the world leader in EV manufacturing. So much so that Elon Musk's persona and the company Tesla has become synonymous with electric vehicles. In a rather short span of 16 years, the shares of Tesla have risen astronomically, showing that people and investors have developed a trust in the Tesla brand. This is due to Tesla's commitment to the cause, with a clear set of goals that have enabled it to develop EVs that have the aesthetics of sports cars and futuristic operating systems with autopilot features. With so many things in common, you'd be led to believe that these two are fast friends with a shared purpose and common goal. Well, what may come as a surprise is that, despite so much in common, especially goals and ambitions, both of these men cannot seem to stand each other one bit. The differences, which stem from disputes in how Tesla conducts its business and how it has modeled its organization and how it's not part of the Union of Auto Workers, an organization which has been working for the welfare and betterment of labor working in the automotive industry for years now. But now, the animosity between the two is becoming political as well. It might as well become personal considering how comments are being exchanged back and forth. A fresh example of this rivalry came when Biden held the EV summit at the White House and summoned heads and CEOs of the big three of the American automotive industry, Chrysler, Ford, and GM. But the name that is synonymous with EV technology, Elon Musk, was given the cold shoulder by President Biden. He wasn't even invited. In fact, hardly any mention of Tesla was made during the conference at all. Some would expect that Elon Musk is being the bigger man and turning the other cheek in this matter. However, that isn't the case either. Musk is also not holding anything back, going all out in a no-holds-barred fashion while taking shots at Biden through his favorite medium of communication with the word Twitter. Musk lashed out at President Biden and his administration. He went so far as to call President Biden a damn sock puppet. As mentioned earlier, the chief reason behind President Biden snubbing Tesla and preferring other lesser-performing automotive manufacturers over Tesla can be pinpointed at Tesla's insubordination in joining the UAW. The UAW, apart from being involved in welfare work for labor and technicians involved in the automotive sector, UAW has been an age-old political ally of Biden and the Democrat Party of the United States, which means President Biden might have some bias involved in this matter. The chief reason for concerns of the UAW are for the jobs of their members. This is because EVs require significantly less labor to assemble compared to traditional combustion engines. Ford estimates that 30% less labor is required in the manufacturing process of an EV. That translates into 30% fewer jobs in the industry. Especially with the rise in automation in the industry and plans of replacing human labor with robots, the future for automobile technicians looks uncertain. That's why UAW are raising concerns and using their political influence and connections to secure jobs for their members amidst all the hype of automation. Since most of the cost of labor is subtracted in the manufacturing process of the EV, most of the value of an EV is derived from the battery packs, which is exactly why veteran vehicle manufacturers are setting up joint ventures for battery production facilities. Take, for example, the joint venture by General Motors and LG for setting up a battery production factory in Ohio, which will aim to accommodate union workers by providing them with jobs in the automotive industry. Apart from that, UAW President Ray Curry, speaking on behalf of his union, stated that the union members wanted assurances from the Biden administration that the future employment of UAW union members be accommodated. How, you may ask? The union suggests that EVs coming from the Detroit automakers, or the Big Three, Chrysler, Ford, and GM, would be built by union workers. Apart from Biden's longtime affiliation with the UAW and his concerns for the future of the workers amidst the automation boom, urging the U.S. natives to make the shift to EVs is important for Biden's climate policies. According to whitehouse.gov, the official website for the latest press releases coming from the White House, President Biden is committed to cutting greenhouse gas emissions 50 to 52% below 2005 levels in 2030, reaching a 100% carbon pollution-free power sector by 2035, and achieving a net zero economy by no later than 2050, all while creating good-paying union jobs at home. Apart from that, he wants at least 50% of the USA's car sales to be electric vehicles. To help realize this lofty goal of cutting down on greenhouse gas emissions, Biden has rallied in the top brass of the American automobile sector. Commitments have been made by GM, who have projected to achieve 100% zero emissions by 2035, and Ford, who have pledged to make 40% of all their sales to be EVs by 2030. The real problem lies in the transition. However, since 29% of greenhouse gas emissions in the United States comes from passenger vehicles, and at the moment, EV sales are just 2% in the US. That's why transitioning to AEVs might be the most significant revolution in the American and world automotive industry since Henry Ford's introduction of a moving assembly line, according to Harley Scheiket, who's a professor of UC Berkeley. That's why climate change might be just a secondary concern for UAW, says Scheiket, since Indiana, Michigan, and Ohio are home to tens of thousands of combustion engine manufacturers who will be at risk of losing their jobs due to the EV revolution. Everyone will be more concerned about maintaining a job than the environment. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and click on the bell icon to stay updated with all the latest news from the Tesla universe. Which is the exact outlook? Many world leaders, including Biden, are looking to change, and Elon isn't making life easier for him. After Elon Musk wasn't invited to a White House summit on climate change and the use of EVs to curb the increasing greenhouse effect, where GM and Ford were praised for their efforts in the EV sector, Elon took it personally. Lashing out at Biden, he called him biased and controlled by unions. Comparing the president to a damp sock puppet, he has also criticized Biden's policy of charging stations subsidized by the government. What do you make of this scenario? Is Biden right by accounting for labor unions and subsidizing charging stations for EVs? Or does Musk have a point in this criticism of Biden, and organizations should be ununionized and EV charging projects free from government subsidies? Leave your comments below. The best comment will get a chance to be pinned to the top.